What if the best way to understand our modern fears isn't by looking at the movies we do see, but the ones we don't? We're going to dive into this incredible collection of Hollywood's unmade film pitches. Think of it like a secret map to our collective nightmares.
So yeah, that's really the big question here, isn't it? As we dug through these unmade scripts, a few major themes just kept popping up. They really boil down to three core fears. Our anxiety about these huge invisible systems that control us, our terror of the truly unknown, and then the very personal internal battle for who we are.
All right, let's start with that first one. Fear number 1, invisible control. This is all about the threats you can't point a finger at, but you can absolutely feel them. These massive, creeping systems that kind of run our lives from behind the scenes.
And, a lot of these pitches fit perfectly into this genre called the systems thriller, which feels more relevant now than ever. The whole idea here is that the real horror isn't some monster jumping out at you. No, it's that slow, sinking feeling when you realize you're just a gear in some giant, uncaring machine.
Okay, check this out. Take a pitch called The Real Calhoun. In this story, cinema itself is a weapon, a mimetic weapon. It's an idea so strong it can literally change who you are. So you've got this nuclear scientist, right? He knows a secret that could break everything. But instead of just, taking him out, the government has a much sneakier plan. They make him watch this Western movie over and over, and the film slowly, piece by piece, replaces his actual memories with this heroic, fake story.
And that quote just nails it. Every story takes something from you. It's this chilling idea that the stories we're fed can be used against us to literally erase who we are. I mean, imagine the story you're told becoming more real than the life you actually lived. That's terrifying.
You see the same kind of quiet, bureaucratic horror in another pitch, Under Threshold. Forget car chases and shootouts. In this movie, the violence happens on paper. It's done through policy. Human lives are basically trafficked using super complex mortgage debt. It's a thriller where the deadliest weapon is a spreadsheet. Wild, right?
But maybe the scariest version of this whole idea comes from a pitch called the Meridian Protocol. It imagines this secret global authority, right? But they're not some cackling evil villains. No, they're presented as, reasonable. They see themselves as a necessary solution, managing dangerous truths for the so-called greater good. And that's the real horror, the creeping feeling that, on some level, you might actually agree with them.
So we've talked about human systems, but what happens when the systems aren't human at all? This is where the fear really escalates, from stuff we can at least wrap our heads around to cosmic forces that are just way beyond us. Let's talk about the alien unknown.
First up, a pitch called The Beautiful Descent. Get this, the invasion isn't violent, it's beautiful. These perfect, angelic aliens show up, and humanity doesn't fight back. We don't even try. We just look at them and want to join them. We want to become them. So the horror here isn't getting wiped out by lasers. It's this seductive pull to just give up, to trade in our messy, complicated humanity for perfection. The real enemy in this story isn't the aliens. It's us. It's our own desire to be better.
Okay, so that's one way to go. But not all alien encounters are so tempting. Some go straight for the jugular, which brings us to a pitch for the Sphere 2. In this one, you've got another mysterious alien object, but it's not offering you paradise. Nope. This thing takes your deepest, darkest fears and makes them physically real. I mean, literally. Whatever you're most scared of, that's what's coming for you.
So, in this universe, fear isn't just an emotion. It's a creative force. It shapes reality. The crew is so terrified of total collapse, of just being erased, that their collective fear literally creates a black hole that swallows their ship, and it traps them in this time loop that, get this, actually explains how the whole story of the first movie started. They literally become the architects of their own nightmare.
And the threat can get even quieter, even more subtle. In a pitch called Porous, it's not about some big object or an alien army, it's about a drifter who slowly realizes that people aren't plotting against him. It's worse. They're all being synchronized by some kind of cosmic hive mind. Your personality isn't violently destroyed, it just dissolves, fading into this massive collective consciousness unless you fight every single second to hold on to it.
And that completely changes what winning even looks like, right? The goal isn't to blow up the mothership or escape. Survival is what the pitch calls authorship under pressure.
It's about carving out a little space for your own thoughts, just negotiating a boundary inside a system that wants to do all the thinking for you. Okay, so we've looked at these massive external threats, right? From governments to hive minds. For our final theme, we're going to bring the camera way, way in. We're going to zoom in on the battles that happen inside ourselves. This is 40 Days Finding Grace. It's a story about a guy who goes out into the modern wilderness, into the California desert. But he's not hiding from monsters or aliens. He's running from his own mind, from trauma, from paranoia, and from these huge, heavy questions about faith. So the whole point of his journey isn't to become some perfect, holy person. It's just about becoming honest. It's about finding the strength to finally face his past so he can come back to the world and just live, honestly. And you see that same theme, confronting a past that's been buried in silence, in another story called Rice Fields. This one is about a Vietnamese refugee who comes to America and builds a life for his family just through decades of quiet, hard work, and restraint. But the story is really about the cost of that survival, the silence that gets passed down through generations, the way being a father sometimes means putting your own identity on hold. This is a fight that isn't won with big speeches, but with a whole lifetime of small actions. It's about the dignity and the incredible price of holding it all together. Okay. So we've got cosmic horror, paranoid thrillers, intimate family dramas. What do all of these unmade stories actually tell us? What's the one thread that connects them all?
Well, if you look at the table, it becomes pretty clear. It doesn't matter if the villain is a government agency, a hive mind from space, or just your own trauma. The stakes are always the same. It's the struggle to just hold on to who you are.
And here's something really interesting. In the notes for these pitches, you see the same actors' names pop up over and over again. People like Oscar Isaac, Rebecca Ferguson. And that points to a kind of new archetype, a new kind of hero for today. A hero who isn't defined by how hard they can punch, but by their psychological endurance. I mean, think about it. In a world that's just constantly bombarding us with information and pressure, maybe the most heroic thing you can do is just fight to keep a sense of who you are. At the end of the day, that's what every single one of these screenplays is about. It's the fight for your own agency, for your own identity, in a world that seems designed to overwrite you, or dissolve you, or just plain silence you. Which leads to one final question. These stories might be unmade, but which one are you living?